Welcome to Britain's favourite Sunday sermon. Well, it's been another extraordinary week in British politics. And this week I want to focus on trust in our leaders, our politicians, the establishment. Because, of course, we've had the ongoing post office scandal with new shocking revelations at multiple different levels, which goes to the heart of how government works and its relation with big business. Because it now transpires that we've had evidence from one of the bosses at Fujitsu, Mr. Paul Patterson, who admitted that actually problems were known about years and years ago. And he very decently admitted that morally, yes, Fujitsu should pay something towards the cost of the compensation. But then it also transpired earlier this week that the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, Gordon Brown, back in 1998, he knew of problems with the Fujitsu software beginning to be rolled out with the post office. Now, here's the thing. There are also suggestions that actually the Japanese government pressured the UK government back at the same time to progress this Fujitsu contract, even though everybody knew there were significant problems, so significant that Gordon Brown said the government was thinking of ditching it before they'd even started. Now look, many of us who've been in the world of business, we know that new computer systems, there's always a few issues. It's never as plain sailing. There's always little bugs and glitches and things to sort out. Fine. We accept that. We know that. But if you've got a decent company that's rolling out a contractual obligation in a sensible way, then when the bugs and glitches then may appear, you iron them out, you sort them out, and you get it better and better, and everybody works collectively together. What you don't do is pretend they don't exist. What you don't do is actually lie when people are charged with, with serious criminal offences, charged with theft, when you know there are bugs and problems in your system. And that's where this has now got to. Truly, truly shocking. I'm very clear where this should go. I think the government, once again, is being too slow in overturning all of the convictions. It's incredibly simple. It requires a simple, short bill to be pushed through the House of Commons within a week, and the House of Lords. They did it with COVID. They can do it with this. We all know the Unjustice is there, that says all of the convictions should be overturned en masse. The whole lot. And you know what? If there's the odd one that was genuine, frankly, in the scheme of the greater good, so what? Everybody, all of these convictions are potentially unsafe, almost certainly unsafe. They should all be overturned immediately. It's not good enough for the government to say, we're going to wait or we're going to take a year to do this. The British people want this sorted, and they want it sorted now. And Mr. Fujitsu bosses, we don't want you morally chipping in to the compensation fund. We actually want you paying the whole lot of it. It's your responsibility. It was your software. You knew it had bugs. You knew you could go into the back of the system. You jolly well pay. That is the reality. And until you do, frankly, you should never have any more contracts with any business department in this country ever again. Get it? It's not difficult. And the other thing is, thirdly, that actually company bosses who were responsible for this catastrophe, this total breakdown of trust in our society, in the bedrock, the foundations of hamlets, villages, towns, market towns, up and down the country, the company bosses, the post office and Fujitsu, you should face trial. There has to be some accountability. There has to be responsibility. And if you're found guilty, you go to jail. No ifs, no buts. And here's what really worries me. This is the same week that, yes, the great and the good of governments and big businesses are all assembling in Davos for their annual jamboree. Well, this year it seems there's over 100 governments represented. There's over 1,000 big corporations represented. The World Economic Forum has gone on since 1975, I think. And so you can imagine in the late 90s, I suspect there was, lots of sort of arm twisting going on possibly there. Who knows? But this very cosy relationship between the very big businesses and big governments that might work well for them, but we're starting to see how it doesn't work for the people when the consequences fall out as they have. And that's why trust in so much of our establishment, our leaders, our government has completely collapsed. The theory of the World Economic Forum should be good, people getting together, sharing ideas. But when actually ordinary lives of ordinary people, who are supposedly the beneficiaries of this sharing ideas, are feeling worse off, are feeling poorer, are feeling colder, then that trust absolutely breaks down. And those corporate bosses and governments cozying up to each other, they might be having lots of champagne and a jolly nice time, but you ain't helping the people. Not at all. I think the World Economic Forum is a serious symptom of the problems that face us all. Supposedly, this year they're talking about security in the sort of the geopolitical world. Well, how's that going, folks? I mean, you're supposed to sort all these issues out. Not looking so good, is it? Maybe you should just scrap the World Economic Forum. Stick to some of the other existing institutions. Maybe it's all just too confusing. Or is it just too pally-pally? Too many nice, cosy, non-exec directorships on each other's boards, looking after each other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, they'll scratch their back. Seems that all the big bosses' backs get scratched. And the people get shafted. Absolutely shafted. I'm sick to death of it. I'm hearing up and down the country when I campaign, people are sick to death of this stuff because it's not helping the people. The other thing this week, where do we begin with this sermon that went on was, yes, all the Tory MPs got marched up the hill on the Rwanda bill and they were all going to, huff and puff and they were going to blow the house down if they didn't get amendments to the bill. And then when it came to it, they all whimpered down the other side of the hill, tail between the legs, the whole thing completely irrelevant. So the bill passed as it was done before by the government, and now it's going to be stuck in the gluey-like dinosaur quagmire of the House of Lords, possibly never to be seen again for months and months. And the boats keep coming. Yes, tragically, since I last did a Sunday sermon, 5 people have died in the Channel. Rwanda bill is no deterrent whatsoever. The whole thing is a complete fraudulent con. It's cost hundreds of millions of pounds, wasted countless knows how many hours, weeks of everybody's time and energy. But the boats keep coming. Hundreds and hundreds have already left France, come to the UK, taken that dangerous journey. There is the proof that it's not a deterrent at all. They're going to keep coming. Why? Because they know they won't go to Rwanda. They're almost certain to be guaranteed to stay in the United Kingdom. And once again, trust from the people in the establishment is being eroded, it's being destroyed. I'm telling you, unless something changes, unless governments and leaders and the civil service of this country get their act together and start delivering for the British people may say, we're done. Enough is enough. We want change. That is what happens when the people get let down. And with that, here endeth my Sunday sermon.